فاصبر صبرا جميلا.
Wallahi, if you want to see how our time has become, it's enough to see that. I remember wanting to ask the scholars, because you know when you're studying the means of how people, for example, the things that take a person outside of Islam. One of the things that take a person outside of Islam is a topic called inkar ma yu'lamu min ad-din bid-darura, rejecting what is known by necessity in the religion. Rejecting something that everyone knows is a part of Islam. Like the scholars say, like saying there is no prayer for Muslims. Muslims don't have to pray. This person who says this is kafir. Why? Because they rejected something that is known by necessity. It's not like just you have to be a student or a scholar to know it. Like everybody knows that there is a prayer in Islam. Wallahi, it's got to the point now where we have started to ask the scholars, is there an excuse in this? Because we are finding huge numbers of Muslims rejecting things that are known in the religion by necessity. People say, where is the rule of segregation in Islam? People say, where is the hijab in the Quran? There is no hijab in the Quran. Have we reached a point where it's not difficult to imagine that we will reach a point where the people will say, do Muslims have to pray? Because we've already reached a point where large numbers of Muslims say, is there such a thing as a hijab in Islam? Wallah, a question that never would have been asked even 100 years ago. Nobody on the face of the earth, no Muslim on the face of the earth would have said, is there such a thing as the hijab in Islam? And everyone knew that Muslim women have to wear the hijab. And this was just something that was known by necessity by everybody. Now, genuinely, people are coming and saying, I don't find the hijab in the Quran. I don't find segregation in the Quran. I don't see why we have to do this. Where is the evidence that we have to do this? People saying, I don't find 5 daily prayers in the Quran. This is the state we've reached now. So how about where we're going to reach in 100 years or 200 years or what Allah Azza wa Jal knows best, however long this dunya will last? Where are we going to reach when we've reached this point already? We've reached the point where I doubt about, when someone comes to me with one of these things, like 50 years ago, the scholar would have said kafir and put the hukm of ridda upon them. These days we say, subhanallah, let's educate these people. Because wallah, this is the level of ignorance to which it has reached. People reject the most fundamental, wallah, it's not mustaghrab, it's not strange to hear somebody rejecting the meaning of la ilaha illallah. People saying, is it necessary for us to worship Allah alone? What is left of Islam if people come to you and say, is it necessary for us to worship Allah alone? What is necessary if that is not necessary? SubhanAllah, we have reached such a level of ignorance, but still that level of ignorance is increasing and increasing and increasing, and it will continue to increase until Allah Azza wa Jal takes away the Quran from the earth. And this will happen at the very end of time. It's one of the minor signs that will happen after the major signs. That there will come a time when the Quran is taken up, the Mus'haf is taken up. Not a single ayah will remain written, and not a single ayah will remain memorized by anyone. The Quran will be taken out of the hearts and taken out of the pages. And the people who will be left are just the only people who will be left with even a semblance of Islam are the old man and the old woman who say, I remember my ancestors saying La ilaha illallah, and I don't know what it means, but I just say it anyway. And other than that, we know that the hour will only come upon the worst of creation. Like the Prophet ﷺ told us, the hour will only come upon shirarul khalq, the worst of creation. And it will be the people who the hour will come, and the hour will come upon